Hello everyone, felt inspired to make another ADVAU video. This is to be a short one, but a fun one. I just wanted to show off what is at once one team and three teams. So on your screen, or in the thumbnail, you see six Pokemon, uh, and with them, I've been able to make three different teams, varying in style from quite fast-paced defense all the way down to quite stally stall. I mean, well, that's often like the spectrum, stall to offense. And it's quite interesting that these six Pokemon together can do such a thing. Um, as if you have a think about it, think about the kinds of teams that these Pokemon can be on. Fortress obviously spikes and rapid spin and explosion. It can fit on any style of team. Tyranitar pursuits that's a great on stall. Dragon Dance is a weapon on offense. Again, fits in any style of team. Swampert can be well, it again fits on any style of team. You've got like quite offensive sets with like Hydro Pump Focus Punch. You've got like defensive Protect Toxic sets, even Curse Rest. Again, so fits any speed. Celebi, again, you've got offensive sets like Carmine, three attacks, that sort of thing. And of course, defensively, it's a Behemoth. Leech Seed Recover, and then lots of useful tools like Heal Bell and screens and so on. Gyarados. Dragon Dance on offense is its most potent set, but it can run defensive sets with DD Rest, for example. Metagross may be the most style-defined Pokemon on this team. Obviously, works very well on offense with sets like Choice Band and Agility, and it can Wall Break as well with like mixed sets and so on. To a lesser extent, you can also fit it on a stall team. And these six Pokemon together don't really have any huge weaknesses. I mean, like Jirachi, for example, there's like a lot of different answers. It just may depend on the matchup, or Zapdos. Again, it depends a bit on the set. T-Bot HP Grass can't do much to Celebi with HP Ice. It doesn't do so much to Swampert, and Dragon Dance T-Tar as well could potentially set up on it. And Metagross can lure it with Explosion as well. So, like it, the team is obviously not perfect, but it doesn't have any huge weaknesses. And also, one quite nice thing is that Metagross isn't really too heavily relied on defensively. Obviously, I'm sure lots of players know this. Metagross and Swampert together. Metagross it lets you run quite offensive Swamperts if you like. Um, you can you can explode with it and not feel like the that you've given up too much. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting. It's fun coming up with the sets that work well together, but don't individually define a style. So these sets, where shall we begin? Should we begin with the offense? So, um, this is fairly cool offense. You've got spikes from Fortress, uh, as you always will. You've got double DD with Gyarados and T-Tar together. You might prefer to run slightly different sets, and you've got like an offensive Swampert, and since you've also got Metagross and Fortress helping out with like physical attackers, and you've got Carmine 3 attack Celebi, so like everything on this team kind of does something to Skarmory. Gyarados obviously has the hardest time, but then you do have Choice Band Metagross Explosion to try and lure it. You've also got Brick Break, which can, make ground with hitting T-Tar, hitting Magneton, doing something to Swampert as well, which is very nice, very useful. Especially in mid-grounding, potentially hitting a Magneton for it first is always welcome. So yeah, it's Choice Band Metagross, Spikes, and Double DD, and a Combine Eater. There's wall breaking and boosting sweeping. It's quite fun and no holds barred. Um, and yeah, nice team, but we can slow things down a bit. and make, more of a balanced approach. So let's make the Tyranitar Pursuit. The previous team, if you think about how the previous team kind of handles Gengar, it does Wolf Fortress, but you're kind of happy just getting spikes and getting going with this. You do have Psychic on Celebi for it for extra damage, and Lumberry DD which can sit up in front of Gengar if needs be. But if you go Pursuit Tar, then you've got a good chance of clearing the Gengar, so Fortress can spin, and you could potentially play a longer game. You've got HP Fire Celebi, Hydro on Swampert, and Taunt DD Gyarados, as well as Mixed Metagross. So this team does still put quite a lot of pressure on Skarmory, even though you're not trying to explode it with Choice Band Metagross. It's more of a case of like wear it down over the course of a game, potentially pressure it with Pursuit Tar, potentially pressure it with Zap Cannon, Fortress as well, and just don't let it hold the advantage over you. And in this team, Celebi and Swampert do act more as pivots. Gyarados really is more of a long-term game plan with that Metagross that you are kind of hoping to maybe explode it on like a Zapdos for Gyarados. If you run into Aerodactyl, at least you have Metagross and Swampert to handle it defensively. And T-Tar as well can pursue trap it if it's locked into Double Edge, for example. So, also a cool balance team. You got one boosting sweeper and a lot of, solid defensive setup as well as something to progress your game plan with Metagross. You can, of course, slow this team down even further. Celebinos Heal Bell, which gives you, if you've seen my previous video, you may recognize, Heal Bell really is quite a nice tool alongside boosting move and rest. And Gyarados and Swampert both can run boosting move and rest sets. DD Rest Gyarados, quite a menace. Yeah, lets it last for a longer time as well against something like Charizard, which is always useful. Uh, Curse Rest Swampert as well. You do need Ice Beam on this team because Salamence is a problem. Um, Mixed Mance, you do kind of handle more with Gyarados. And I'd say that's probably, thinking about that, probably is one of the biggest threats to all three of these teams. Although, again, you do have counterplay to it. Gyarados, uh, yeah, it's probably the scariest thing to see, just because you do become quite reliant on Gyarados against those, but it's hard to do much else. You could, if you really wanted, swap Gyarados for a Mantine here and just completely annihilate Mixman. It's very funny. I'm not sure if it's the best idea. You are very reliant on Swampert then to win you the game, but you could do it. It would be very funny. Also, swapping Metagross with Jirachi is kind of an interesting idea on all of these teams as well. If you maybe like really want that wish support. But here, I thought Toxic was kind of interesting. I feel like you do want Explosion for Zapdos just because that's quite a difficult Pokemon for this team to break through. But Toxic is obviously pretty decent to water types. If they are refresh water types, the fun thing is that Gyarados just sets up on them, as well as Celebi coming in, recovering, Heal Bell, and all sorts of things. So if you end up bumping into like a refresh Milotic with this Toxic Metagross team, you're still quite happy. So Toxic Metagross is kind of helping you out in your other matchups. Of course, you can't really drop Earthquake. I did think about it, but it's really kind of disgusting to have a Metagross that just loses to Magneton. But you could even try like a different kind of bulky spread, like a Spadef spread or something, to handle Magneton better. Um, and handle Mixed Mounts better, I guess, as well. So that's kind of something interesting to consider. But obviously, having a lot of attack is quite nice for Skarmory. This team, again, you can somewhat dominate Skarmory with like the Zap Cannon, Spin Fortress, and pressure it with T-Tar, and slowly wear it down with Leech Seed and Ice Beam and so on. Meteor Mash is a part of that story, but this is definitely a team where you have more difficulties with Skarmory. It's more centralizing to play against. So I'm not sure which of these teams people prefer the most. I don't know if people really want to like play Mantine over Gyarados to be really solid into mixed match, which is, like I said, probably the team scariest matchup. I'm not sure what else you could even try besides maybe like sneaking Hawk PI on Celebi somewhere. Which I don't think it's got the room for. But overall, I don't think it's a pretty cute team. Uh, well, no teams are perfect. Expanse, as it often is a bit of a menace here, but it has a lot of nice tools. So yeah, just thought it would be cool to show off this team, these three teams. Obviously, the links will be in the description. I don't know how many more ADVOU videos I will do since I'm not really playing actively, but I thought, this is cute, why not? So, anyway, I'll see you around.